The ticking clock is telling us that time is slipping away from our hands. We have only 24 hours. A massive asteroid will collide with our Earth and its target is a very big city. Ganyawadibala. The asteroid is rapidly heading towards Earth. People on Earth are completely unaware of this impending danger, busy with their daily routines. The asteroid is 6 kilometers in diameter, and when it hits, the destruction will be catastrophic. But what will the conditions be like on Earth in those last 24 hours before the impact? How will governments respond to this sudden disaster, and will scientists be able to stop it? And what will happen to ordinary people? When they realize that there's no way out now, they'll have to face it. This is not a drill. In this video, we will present to you the terrifying picture of those final moments 24 hours before an asteroid collides with Earth. We are about to experience that panic, fear, and ultimate destruction up close. At the end of this video, ask yourself this question: if this scenario were real, how would you spend your last day? Asteroids have hit this Earth before and it will happen again, but what if one is about to hit us in the next 24 hours? Let's start the countdown to impact. 24 hours before impact. It all started with a discovery. Astronomers had been trying to track a large asteroid for weeks, but the asteroid was hidden behind the moon. But suddenly one night, the radars catch that lurking asteroid. The asteroid had come so close that the scientists were shocked to see it. What the calculations revealed was nothing but destruction and terror. It's going to collide directly with our Earth in 24 hours. The asteroid is so big that its impact will cause destruction on a large scale. This asteroid is going to hit New York in America. The scientists immediately informed the government agencies about this. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the European Space Agency, Indian Space Research Organization, and China National Space Administration, as well as the United Nations, also spring into action. But there are only 24 hours left until the collision. At this point, the time to launch a mission to deflect or destroy it has already passed. Because the asteroid is already so close to Earth that such a mission won't be able to stop it, and a mission can't be launched in such a hurry either. The reality becomes clearer and clearer to everyone. This asteroid will definitely hit Earth. No one can stop it. Our technology, our intelligence, all became useless. Within minutes of the asteroid impact being confirmed, this warning is delivered to all the world's leaders. New York and more than half of this world. For the population, these 24 hours are going to be the last 24 hours of their lives. That's why an emergency message is broadcast to the general public. This message was simple but also frightening. A city-killer giant asteroid is going to collide with Earth in the next 24 hours. If you can evacuate, do it quickly, take shelter in a safe place, and be prepared for the impact. Soon people were terrified after hearing this. They couldn't believe what they had just heard. How could this even be possible? People were thinking that in this infinite universe, Earth is a very small target for the asteroid. And how did this coincidence even happen? But the truth was absolutely clear in front of everyone. And as this news kept spreading, an atmosphere of fear spread throughout the world. People going to the office, people stepping out of their homes, first started calling home to confirm this. They asked about their family's well-being, but with so little time, everyone was wherever they were, not at home. They started rushing towards the city so that they could take their families and leave this city. The same message was broadcast to people in other countries around the world as well. There was an atmosphere of panic everywhere, and there was a strange silence in the sky. People were getting scared seeing this calmness in the sky. Governments are organizing evacuations in an orderly manner, but it's not possible to save everyone in the impact zone. Here, everyone has to make quick decisions. Time is running out. Either leave that place and look for shelter somewhere far away, or watch the asteroid fall right before your eyes. 18 hours before impact, there's a countdown going on everywhere. Governments all over the world have taken action. Orders have been given to evacuate the city in the impact zone, but because of this, there is chaos, confusion, and disorder everywhere in the city. The highways look like a parking lot. Some people want to go home to get their loved ones, while others are fleeing the city. Millions are already stranded on highways. Public transportation is in a terrible state and the crowd is out of control. Millions of people are rushing towards the airport, but due to all the seats being filled, the airports have also been shut down. Now it's clear that there isn't enough time to evacuate everyone. This increases people's anger. Everyone wants to save themselves and their families. Riots can also be seen in many places. The military is deployed for evacuation, but seeing the scale of this operation, even they get scared. To maintain law and order in the city, emergency services are used to their limits. But the fear is so intense that rebellion can be seen in some places. This time, the government warns people outside the impact zone. Anyone outside the impact zone should quickly move to a safe place. Look for underground bunkers, because after the impact, you will face the shockwave. It is not safe to stay in your homes because the shockwave will destroy everything. A tsunami warning has been issued for coastal residents. The damage from this impact won't be limited to just the impact site. The entire globe is going to be affected by it. Meanwhile, leaders around the world are appealing to people to remain calm. But the truth is, they all know that they can't do anything. Behind the scenes, politicians are holding urgent meetings with scientists and discussing the worst-case scenarios. They talk about allocating resources in the right direction. But now, there are less than 18 hours left. Time is slipping away. The American government wants to save a few people in its most secure military bases and bunkers, so that those people can be saved from this disaster who will give a new future to human civilization. In this way, experts from every field are selected. Special instructions are given that only those people should be brought. There was no order to bring anyone except the children in the family. Media outlets are continuously broadcasting the updates that are coming in. Evacuation efforts and ongoing problems are continually shown. People in India have been shocked after seeing all this on television. They have realized the seriousness of the situation. The entire country is now in a serious situation, spreading like wildfire. The world's most populous country has left their homes and taken to the streets in search of safety. 12 hours before the impact, the whole world is either sitting in front of their TVs or struggling on the streets. They're all scared. They're all terrified because their clock is frightening them. Only 12 hours remain until impact. It's not just the people of New York and America, the whole world has been gripped by this fear. As news outlets are covering this upcoming disaster, scientists are constantly working on detailed predictions about what its impact could be. Which places are safe? A map of the projected impact zone is shown on television. People are being given live updates about this entire sequence of events. Meanwhile, the asteroid is moving towards Earth at a speed of 30,000 kilometers per hour. When it collides, it will release billions of times more energy than any atomic bomb detected so far. People react to this disaster in different ways when they see it coming. Some people become religious and seek refuge in God. They gather in churches, temples, mosques, and gurdwaras and pray, thinking that maybe their God made a mistake. At the same time, some people accept the coming trouble and prepare themselves to face the end. Social media becomes the digital diary of the last few hours of this world. People post their final goodbyes to their friends, relatives, and the whole world. Some people post to encourage others. The internet is flooded with hashtags like Final Day and Asteroid Strike. People post all kinds of photos and messages. Some people want to live stream this terrible destruction to the whole world. The economic system completely collapses. It's as if time is passing all over the earth. Tensions start to build up. Some countries that are outside the impact zone come forward to provide shelter and help to people. But deep down, everyone knows that these are their last efforts. Whether their lives or anyone else's are saved or not, they have to make an effort. 6 hours before the impact, only 6 hours are left until the impact. The situation is getting even more intense now. There are many people who haven't been able to get out of the city. They have accepted that now there is no way to survive. Those in the impact zone who couldn't evacuate, they prepare themselves for the worst case scenario of their lives. Families gather together in one place at home. They make confessions, let go of grudges, and want to live those final moments to the fullest. And they hide in the basements. They encourage their family and get ready to face it. Amid the chaos, many stories of kindness and compassion emerged. The neighbors who were always fighting and arguing. On this day, one of them opened the doors of his basement for everyone. The neighbors were seen helping each other with food and water. In these last few hours, communities come together and get ready to face this disaster together. Now, this world is not the same as it was about 18 hours ago. Because of this panic, people were seen breaking the law and looting in many places. People were looting big stores, shops, and warehouses so that they could survive in bunkers for a long time. Opportunists are burglarizing homes, but maybe they don't realize how deadly this danger is going to be. The police force seems to be helpless in front of such a large crowd. They can't do anything except watch this chaos unfold on the streets. Meanwhile, in the last few hours, religious leaders gather a huge crowd to deliver sermons. They tell those people to stay calm and use religious teachings to encourage them to face this disaster. Philosophers, scientists, thinkers, and prominent religious leaders present their thoughts on life and its meaning. They debate its purpose. Debates also begin about the universe and the human civilization within it. In this, many people accept this disaster and start waiting for the asteroid to collide. For some people, this becomes a time to look within themselves. They are confused after seeing this. Scientists in labs all over the world are still working tirelessly. They are calculating some last-minute variable that could turn the whole game around, that could show them a ray of hope. Isn't it possible that in the final moments that asteroid could change its path? The scientists were hoping for the same, and so were billions of people around the world. Is there still something that can be done at this time to save our planet? But there was less than just 6 hours left. The ticking of the clock was dashing everyone's hopes. The ray of hope was now beginning to fade. There was only 1 hour left before the collision with the impact. Now that gigantic asteroid is clearly visible in the sky. It's very bright and coming rapidly towards the Earth. Its size keeps increasing every minute. News channels' cameras start showing live footage of the approaching asteroid. Scientists explain the asteroid's progress in real time. Everyone knows what will happen after the next hour. Soldiers, scientists, police, reporters, and ordinary people will also die in this disaster. They know this, but still, they are fulfilling their duty for humanity so that mankind can rise again. They are fully prepared to sacrifice their lives. In this final hour, a strange silence spreads over the impact site area. Birds start flying in the sky as if humans know that the end is certain. Animals start coming out of the forests and running towards the cities. Near the impact site, people gather on rooftops, beaches, and open fields to watch the asteroid. They look at the sky. Some people, out of fear, hold each other's hands. The children are scared and anxious. Some people are standing silently. Some want to spend their final moments with their families at home. There is one thing common among all the people. Everyone knows that this is bound to happen. Everyone is ready for a big bang. People from all over the world are watching the event live. Everyone knows that after the impact, a shockwave will come. Debris from Earth and the asteroid will fall from the sky like death, and it will engulf the whole world. Some scientists have already predicted a global impact winter where dust, soil, and debris from the explosion will block the sunlight coming from the sun for months or even years. This will destroy the crops. Without sunlight, the entire ecosystem will collapse. In this final hour, the governments issue a final statement for the people. In just a few minutes, we will face our greatest fear. The asteroid is about to hit. Don't panic, just hide wherever you can find a place. Don't waste time trying to get to a safe place. After the impact, more than half of us will be dead. We pray that after this impact, we will rebuild the world from scratch. We are all ready for this impact. In some places, religious leaders are gathering people together for a final prayer and seeking God's blessings. Meanwhile, some people are gathering with their loved ones. To spend those final moments together, they all wait for that one moment, for that one explosion. In those final moments, it's as if the world holds its breath. Collision, and the collision happens. Finally, the asteroid crashes into the Earth with its unimaginable force. The sky fills with a blinding light and then a massive explosion. The sound is so loud that people nearby would have lost consciousness and died as soon as they heard it. The people who were at the impact site didn't even have time to think or react. The human brain's reaction time is about 100 to 120 milliseconds. Before their brain could process anything, before they could think, they were instantly vaporized. The energy released by this impact was something we humans had never seen before. It was tearing through the ground as it moved forward. It was a shockwave that destroyed everything in its path for hundreds of kilometers. Buildings collapsed, forests were completely devastated, and there was nothing on the ground except scenes of destruction. The shockwave was moving at supersonic speed. That means the shockwave was reaching distant cities even before the sound of the impact could be heard. There was no one left there to witness this terrifying scene. Everyone had already fallen victim to that asteroid. After a while, when the intensity of the shockwave decreased, the real destruction began. Debris from Earth and the asteroid was ejected into the sky from the impact site. This was hot lava, which was now about to rain down on cities, homes, and people hiding. The entire sky was filled with dust and dirt. Fire spread through the forest, causing animals to burn to death. Humans could not withstand this destruction. All the people nearby were killed in this destruction. The impact was so powerful that massive earthquakes were seen all over the earth. Because of the earthquake in the ocean, the waves grew in size, and now waves hundreds of meters high started moving forward to swallow the cities. The collision occurred in one spot, but its impact was felt worldwide. Sunlight couldn't reach the Earth's surface for years, which caused the Earth's temperature to drop drastically. The global impact winter had arrived, crops started to fail, the surviving animals started dying one by one. But the humans who managed to survive this catastrophe had an uncertain future. Now they had to face an even bigger problem. Besides the global impact winters, surviving on this Earth was going to be very difficult due to the collapse of the food chain and ecosystem. But the question is, what actually happened after the impact? Did humans survive this impact? Imagine you wake up one morning and everywhere you hear just one piece of news: a massive asteroid is heading towards our Earth. It's so big that it will destroy cities in the blink of an eye. If it hits the ocean, a massive tsunami hundreds of meters high and terrifying scenes will follow. It feels like the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster movie.
Isn't that right?
But what if I told you that this scenario isn't purely hypothetical, imaginary, or even as far-fetched as we think? Beyond Earth's hustle and bustle, in space's darkness, an asteroid called Apophis orbits. Although it's not going to collide with us anytime soon, it will pass so close to our Earth that our scientists are constantly keeping an eye on it. But it is estimated that the next time it passes close to Earth, it won't be so calm. And even the scientists are scared of this. Could this huge rock floating in space turn out to be the next big threat to our Earth? So let's find out the story of this fascinating and somewhat scary Apophis. And do we need to worry about it? Let's start Apophis from the beginning. What exactly is Apophis? Apophis, which is officially also called 99942 Apophis. It is an asteroid, which is about 340 meters in diameter. It is named after the Egyptian god of chaos. And in some way, it is living up to its name. This giant space rock was discovered in 2004. But why is there so much fear surrounding the name Apophis? That's because Apophis belongs to a group of space objects called near-Earth objects, asteroids and comets in space that come very close to our Earth. They are tagged as such if they come within less than about 20 million miles. There are millions of such asteroids in outer space, but most of them don't pose any threat to us. But the story of NEOs like Apophis is a bit different. The orbits of these asteroids pass so close to our Earth that there is always a possibility of them colliding with our planet in the future. And this is where things start to get scary. 2029 close approach is the reason why the issue of Apophis remains a hot topic. That is a specific date. Mark April 13, 2029 on your calendar because that's the date when this same asteroid will pass very close to Earth. That flyby will be historic and extremely close. So exactly how close are we talking about? Well, Apophis. On that day, it will pass just 31,000 kilometers from Earth. If you look at it on an astronomical scale, this distance is even less than the thickness of a human hair. Many satellites that we have sent also orbit this close. In fact, it will pass through the inside of the orbit of our geostationary satellites. Watching a massive rock like Apophis pass so close to Earth will be a once-in-a-lifetime event for people all over the world. But on this day, there will also be a strange fear, a strange sense of dread in people's hearts. Now the question is, will Apophis collide with our Earth in 2029? So I have good news for you, because it will not collide. At least according to the data we have right now, absolutely not. Scientists have done countless calculations on this asteroid. and they are completely confident that Apophis is just going to do a flyby that day. But the story doesn't end here. The initial horrors, when Apophis was first discovered in 2004, the early calculations shocked the scientists. In 2029, the possibility of it colliding with Earth had gone up to 2.7%. The concern was that an unknown massive space rock that we had just discovered was heading straight towards us. A 2.7% chance might not seem like much to you, but when you're talking about an object that could literally bring destruction to Earth, that's enough for us not to be alarmed. The fear was that if this asteroid hits the Earth, the energy released from this event would be equivalent to 1,200 megatons of trinitrotoluene. This impact could destroy everything, about 80,000 times more powerful than the most powerful atomic bomb ever dropped on Hiroshima. Entire cities would be devastated by this impact. Massive shockwaves and tsunamis would completely change the landscape of coastal areas. But this fear ended as soon as we got more data about Apophis. Scientists refined its orbit further, and the possibility of it colliding in 2029 was completely ruled out. But that doesn't mean Apophis has left us alone forever. 2068, a threat to the future. Apophis won't hit Earth in 2029, but still, this asteroid will continue to scare us because its return is certain. Another fact is that when it passes so close to Earth in 2029, our planet's gravity could change its path. This phenomenon is called a gravitational keyhole, and it can change the asteroid's path in such a way that predicting its trajectory will become much more difficult. The theory is that if this asteroid passes over certain specific areas of our Earth, in 2029, its path could change in such a way that when it comes back again in 2068, it could collide directly with the Earth. However, the chances of this happening are still quite low. Scientists are continuously tracking the path of this asteroid. Even a slight change in its orbit could prove dangerous for us, and then what we fear might actually happen. What will actually happen when Apophis collides with our Earth? Imagine the impact. If Apophis is going to collide with our Earth in the future, what will that scene look like? Considering its size and speed, an unimaginable amount of energy will be released from the impact of Apophis. No human present on Earth would have ever seen such a scene, nor would anyone ever want to see it. The impact zone will spread over several kilometers, and everything will be destroyed for hundreds of kilometers due to the collision. If it hits the surface, the explosion will destroy cities, forests, and all infrastructure. And humans are very fragile compared to all of this. Humans present in the impact zone will be vaporized instantly, while people and wildlife farther away won't be able to survive the destruction that follows the impact. If the impact happens in the ocean, then waves several hundred meters high will engulf the coastal areas. This terrifying scene would be far more destructive than any disaster in this world. Its impact will not be limited to the surrounding areas only. The large amount of debris produced by the explosion will enter Earth's atmosphere and block the sunlight coming from the sun, causing a significant drop in temperature all over the planet. This is known as impact winter. Crops will be ruined and the ecosystem will collapse. Humans will be struggling to survive in this disaster. Hopefully humanity never faces such a day, which is why National Aeronautics and Space Administration takes planetary defense seriously. So, before this asteroid crashes into our Earth and wipes us out, what exactly are we doing to stop them? Well, in recent years, the concept of planetary defense has moved from science fiction to a real issue. National Aeronautics and Space Administration and other space agencies are working together to track such dangerous asteroids. National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Planetary Defense Coordination Office, is a well-known program. Its main job is to detect, track, and find such threats that could endanger the Earth in the future. But detection is just the first step of this process. What if we really have to stop a big asteroid like Apophis from hitting the Earth? Are we prepared for that? What if Apophis or some big asteroid like Apophis is about to collide with our Earth? We will have to figure out how to stop that impact. One of the most promising methods is to deflect the asteroid, which means changing the asteroid's trajectory so that it passes away from the Earth. Another method is the kinetic impactor technique, in which a spacecraft is directly crashed into the asteroid, causing its path to change. National Aeronautics and Space Administration has already started testing this method through the Double Asteroid Redirect Test or Double Asteroid Redirect Test mission. National Aeronautics and Space Administration sent Double Asteroid Redirect Test to the Dimorphos asteroid. They tried to change its orbit by crashing the spacecraft into it, and the results have also been quite good. Then there's another possibility, the gravitational tractor, in which it moves close to the asteroid. What will happen is that today there are some setups like this, so that there's another way. That's what happened. So we'll always have the nuclear option available, but executing it could pose a danger to humanity. All these methods are only useful if we can detect the asteroids in time. Otherwise, stopping that great catastrophe will become nearly impossible. So, should we be afraid of Apophis? Although the chances of Apophis colliding in 2029 and 2068 are quite low, Apophis is not the only asteroid out there. There are many asteroids that are on a collision course with Earth, and we have already detected several of them, but space is still full of many more. Talking about such big threats means that even if we manage to avoid Apophis, we will still have to keep working continuously on planetary defense for the future. Apophis doesn't scare us, rather it teaches us that we need to learn how to protect our planet now. Dinosaurs probably couldn't learn this, but we can't risk repeating that mistake. A huge asteroid the size of a skyscraper is wandering through space and heading straight towards our Earth. Roughly larger than the Eiffel Tower and moving faster than a bullet, it's heading towards us. On September 15th, 2024, it will be closest to Earth. Brace yourself, because this day is going to be special for astronomers. Asteroid 2024 ON is coming towards us at a very high speed, but there's no need to worry because this rock is not going to collide with us. On a cosmic scale, it will fly by us at a distance even less than the width of a human hair. But how can this asteroid named 2024 ON prove to be dangerous for us? In today's video, we will learn about this newly discovered asteroid. What are near-Earth objects? And why does National Aeronautics and Space Administration keep a 24-hour watch on these objects? What is it about these asteroids and comets that makes them so dangerous? Let's find out what exactly Asteroid 2024 ON is. An asteroid, a giant asteroid with a diameter ranging from about 721 to 1,575 feet, is a massive asteroid as tall as a large skyscraper. This asteroid was discovered recently. National Aeronautics and Space Administration has placed it in the category of potentially hazardous asteroids. Looking at it, it seems that this asteroid could prove to be a big threat to our Earth. This asteroid is approaching at 19,842 miles per hour, which could be alarming for us. But for now, there is no possibility that it will collide with our Earth. As far as the term potentially hazardous asteroid is concerned, it's National Aeronautics and Space Administration's way of classifying objects and keeping track of them. This distance is 26 times the distance between our Earth and the Moon. So, how do we actually get to know all this? Look, National Aeronautics and Space Administration has systems to track asteroids like 2024 ON and all other comets and asteroids that pose a threat to Earth. There is a very special kind of system in place to monitor them. Meet Atlas, the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alarming System. It's a huge network that tracks such threats all night long, every 24 hours. Atlas is so powerful that it keeps an eye on more than 28,000 near-Earth objects. It ensures that if any threat from space is coming towards us, we have information about it in advance, so that we can prepare a complete action plan to deal with it. Any objects in space that come within a 120 million mile radius of our Earth are called near-Earth objects by National Aeronautics and Space Administration. But if any object comes extremely close to our Earth within about a 4.65 million mile radius, it is given the level of a potentially hazardous object or potentially hazardous asteroid. This doesn't mean that it will definitely collide with our Earth, but the possibility always remains. Thankfully, according to current estimates, we are not going to face any threat like an asteroid impact in the next 100 years. So you can breathe a sigh of relief here. But if 2024 ON collides with our Earth, will it be the end of humanity? The end of human civilization? Well, this possibility is entirely based on hypothetical scenarios, but we can better understand its effects through this situation. So will it destroy the Earth? Well, no, it's big, but it's not that big or dangerous that it could harm the entire Earth. For comparison, if we look at the Chicxulub asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs, it was about a 7.5 mile wide asteroid. Whereas the 2024 ON asteroid is much smaller with a diameter of only 700 to 1,500 feet. This asteroid is about the size of a large building, whereas the Chicxulub asteroid was about the size of a large city. So this asteroid, it doesn't have the power to destroy the Earth or cause a mass extinction here, but even then, the impact from it could still cause serious damage to the Earth. In 2013, a very small asteroid, about 69 feet in size, exploded over Chelyabinsk, Russia. This explosion was 33 times more powerful than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. More than 1,500 people were injured in this incident. Buildings and public property were also severely damaged. 2024 on. Even if the asteroid can't trigger a mass extinction, it can definitely show us a scene of destruction. The reason why asteroids become a threat to us is the Yarkovsky effect, which makes tracking asteroids even more challenging. You might not have heard much about it, but it's quite fascinating. Asteroids absorb sunlight for a long time and then radiate that energy back into space as heat. This gives the asteroid a push, which keeps changing its path continuously. We see something similar in the case of comets as well. Because of sunlight, the water and gases present in the comet start coming out of it, which keeps changing the comet's path. Because of this, it becomes very difficult for us to predict their trajectory in the long term, although we can measure an asteroid's trajectory fairly accurately. But small forces over a period of time keep increasing and their path changes completely. That's why it's very important to keep tracking these objects.
But can we stop this kind of asteroid impact?
National Aeronautics and Space Administration and space agencies around the world are working on potential solutions to stop them. On September 26, 2022, National Aeronautics and Space Administration tested its first planetary defense system, which is called the Double Asteroid Redirect Test Mission. During this mission, a spacecraft is deliberately crashed into the asteroid Dimorphos. This causes a significant change in the asteroid's trajectory. This mission was a major success for National Aeronautics and Space Administration and human civilization. It proved that whenever we need to, we can change the path of any asteroid. National Aeronautics and Space Administration is not the only space agency conducting such experiments. China has also made plans for such a mission. They want to change the path of the asteroid Bennu. About 23 Long March rockets. By crashing 5 rockets into this asteroid, we can easily stop an asteroid the size of 2024 ON. If this asteroid was really a threat to us, we would have already launched several missions by now. To divert its trajectory, Earth may be a safe place for us, but space is definitely not like that. It's full of dangers. But thanks to all the space agencies, because of them, we are able to keep an eye on our sky 24 hours a day. What if I tell you that the governments already know that something terrible is going to happen on Earth? There is going to be destruction here. And this fact is being hidden from every ordinary citizen of this world. As soon as you get busy with your daily routine in life, some powerful forces in this world start working on their dangerous intentions. They want to convince the world that everything is going fine. There's nothing to be afraid of, but secretly they are making plans. Not for you and me, but for a special section of this world, for the elite class of this world. Welcome to you. Danger in the biggest, most dangerous, and most secret cover-up of modern history. From an incoming asteroid that will destroy everything, and maybe this is something someone wants to hide from the world. Let's rewind a bit. It's 2013 and a 70-foot asteroid explodes over Chelyabinsk, Russia. Let's rewind a bit. That was a wake-up call for the whole world about how vulnerable our planet is to such disasters. National Aeronautics and Space Administration and European Space Agency's planetary defense system couldn't detect that asteroid until the last moment. Did the governments react to this the way they should have? Did they invest in safety considering the seriousness of the situation? No, in fact, not at all. For years, even classified reports have been leaking, revealing a glimpse of the truth that is far more terrifying. A dark secret has also come out from multiple astronomers who believe that a huge asteroid is heading straight towards us and will collide with Earth. Even after knowing so much, why is everyone still silent? Some government employees who won't come forward, but some scientists who track near-Earth objects know that a massive asteroid, a planet killer, could be heading our way. Even if it doesn't happen today, when it does, no one will survive. They say that when they informed higher authorities about this shocking discovery, they were silenced. It was said that the public should not be told about any of this. This would cause panic all over the world, economies would crash, the stock market would plummet, there would be chaos among people, riots would break out, and the whole world would be on the verge of collapse even before the asteroid hits. That's why such sensitive and dangerous news cannot be leaked to the public. That's true, but is this the whole truth? This isn't just a cover-up, it's actually a plan to keep the people of the world in the dark. But why are the governments doing this? You'll find the answer in who they're actually trying to protect, where the world is completely distracted, scrolling on social media all day long. All the youth are hooked on reality shows and Netflix series. Meanwhile, a small group of people in this world is busy preparing to survive the apocalypse. Yes, that's not you and me. Have you ever wondered why billionaires like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson are so obsessed with space travel? Could it be that under the guise of tourism and exploration, they're actually planning something else? An escape plan. Some of the world's select elites know something that we don't. And they're working to survive that disaster. For decades, governments have secretly built underground bunkers. Massive self-sustaining complexes are being built that can protect people from such disasters. Supplies are available here to survive for years, and such bunkers are built hidden far away from the reach of common people. Military bunkers have been built in the mountains of Colorado. Officials say that this is a control center, but conspiracy theorists believe that special arrangements have been made here for the elites to stay during times of disaster. Underground bunkers in New Zealand and hidden bunkers in the Swiss Alps are known to only a few people. The list of Russia's famous bunkers is very long. wrong. There are many such secret projects that you and I don't even know about. For example, there could be a secret space station where people could easily live for years. These plans aren't science fiction, they're real. Evan, you can even Google about such companies which are specifically making and selling such doomsday bunkers, and their sales are skyrocketing. Just think about it. Who is actually buying these multi-million-dollar bunkers? Certainly it's not you or me, nor is it any ordinary person in this world. At the same time, the richest people in the world are funding space exploration. It's not for the good of humanity, rather, for them, it's a one-way ticket. Before it's too late, she wants to be done with it. Just think about it. Why spend billions on Mars to terraform it when there's so much that can be done on Earth, because Mars is the elite class's plan B? If you look back through the pages of history, governments have always hidden a lot from their citizens. Just turn the pages yourself. America started the Manhattan Project in complete secrecy from the whole world, where the atomic bomb was made. No one had the slightest clue about it, not even higher-ranking officials. And by the time the world found out about it, it was already too late. Obviously, the Manhattan Project had to be kept secret because they were building an atomic bomb there that could wipe out other countries. But the bitter truth is that such secret programs have always existed. Another secret program was under the MK Ultra program. The CIA conducted mind control experiments on many civilians. There are many such secret programs where everything has been hidden from people. If they want to keep these things secret, then how could an asteroid apocalypse not be included in that? In 2018, the United States government quietly renewed the asteroid detection program with a budget of millions of dollars. Doesn't it raise questions about why the budget was suddenly increased so much and why none of this was covered in the mainstream media? The answer is that they don't want to turn the world into an atmosphere of sudden panic. In such situations, it becomes difficult to control people. By not telling this, they want to keep everyone calm. This keeps the elite's businesses running and governments stable. They will tell you what's really going on, but only when it's already too late. If you're still not convinced, then let's take a look at some more evidence. Over the past decade, you must have noticed that every few days or every few months, news related to asteroids keeps coming up in the media, like a certain asteroid missed the Earth. One thing is, how long will we keep getting lucky? One day, our luck won't be with us. It's also said that governments control the entire narrative on mainstream media. The asteroid was about to hit our Earth, but it didn't. It missed the Earth. Such news over a period of time makes us numb to real dangers like asteroids. Today, our mentality has become such, or has been made such, that we don't take any such news seriously at all. Even if one day this news turns out to be real, it will probably still be ignored by the majority of the population. And maybe that's exactly what the people in power want. Even if someone gathers the courage to leak news about a secret apocalypse, our minds have been programmed this way. Our minds have been flooded with so much information that we won't even believe what that whistleblower says. In 2017, an asteroid passed by at a distance that was 1/10 the distance between the Earth and the Moon. That was a real danger for us. But mainstream media didn't cover this event much, and neither did any scientific community openly talk about it. It seemed like everyone was under the control of some big power, otherwise this threat was really serious. The news was suppressed, meaning there wasn't much discussion about it. The truth is often right in front of us if you know where to look for it. National Aeronautics and Space Administration can't just come out and tell the public that the world will end on a certain date. If they did, it would cause fear and chaos among people. But National Aeronautics and Space Administration says that there are no chances of an asteroid impact for the next 100 years. But have you paid attention to the news? Often information about flyby asteroids is given by mainstream media only 3 or 4 days in advance. This is not a good sign for us. If we, the common people, get information about a massive and catastrophic asteroid impact only a few days in advance, we won't be able to do anything even if we want to. The government won't come to save us, and in such a situation, not everyone can be saved. By then, the billionaires will have either left for Mars or will be watching the Earth being destroyed from some private space station. And some will survive this disaster by hiding in their bunkers. The common man lacks both accurate information and resources, which leaves him helpless. Consider who truly benefits from space tourism and exploration today. An ordinary person who is busy just earning a living and feeding his family. Is it him, or is it those rich people who are going to use space missions like a lifeboat? And then what will happen when this event finally becomes a reality? An asteroid will come toward Earth that cannot be ignored, and no matter what, it will only prove to be destructive for our planet. What do you think? How will this news reach the general public? Will they let this news come out or not? And will they not let it come out until it's too late? This is not the plot of some sci-fi or dystopian movie. This is what happens with ordinary people. As long as this idea spreads among ordinary people, the danger will be right in front of their eyes. Simply put, nothing can be done now. While the rich will be hiding in their bunkers, some will have launched themselves into space. Meanwhile, ordinary people will be left to face this apocalypse. What if I told you that the countdown has already begun? With every second, we are moving closer to that point of no return from where it will be impossible to come back. Before time runs out, either join that elite club or demand transparency from the governments. Because the future of humanity should be in all our hands, not just in the hands of a few rich people. The truth is right in front of us all. Friends, what do you think? Are they really trying to hide something from us? If yes, then what do you think it is? Please let us know in the comment section. In 2020, a Netflix series called Into the Night was released, and a similar series came out in 2022 as well. It's called Yakamo S245. Here, our sun becomes dangerous. During its 11-year active cycle, the sun becomes dangerously active, and this releases a massive sunstorm which wreaks havoc on Earth. During the daytime, that is, in sunlight, dangerous radiation pours down on Earth, causing people to start dying. Both of these series are definitely worth watching. But the question here is, can a solar storm really destroy the Earth? Has anything like this ever happened in the history of our Earth, or could it ever happen in the future? We'll find out in today's video. The sun is our only star, along with the first ray of the sun. Radiation reaches Earth's daytime side, and this radiation is why life persists here. It is believed that plants are able to make their own food. The oceans also get their energy from this, and for us humans, the sun's energy is life-giving. This energy from the sun reaches the Earth in the form of radiation. That means the sun's radiation, it's essential for us, but only in a certain amount. And this amount is controlled by our Earth's atmosphere. Our Earth's atmosphere filters the radiation coming from the sun. And it only allows as much radiation as we and the Earth need to reach the surface. But what if this radiation goes out of our control? What if Armaton-charged solar material starts moving towards our Earth at thousands of miles per second? What if our Earth gets directly hit by a solar flare? Will this planet be able to save us? The answer to this is a bit complicated, but all scientists completely agree that Earth's magnetic field and atmosphere protect us from even the most powerful solar outbursts from the sun. However, even then, these solar storms can destroy our radars, radio systems, and even the satellites orbiting in space. But it can't even touch us after reaching the Earth's surface. And this is only because of our atmosphere. Believe me, we live on the luckiest planet in this universe. Prithvi, which has a thick atmosphere, doesn't let any of the dangerous radiations from solar flares reach us. At National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Goddard Space Flight Center, Helio. According to Alex Young, Associate Director of the Physics Science Division, all the major solar events that have happened in the last 10,000 years. So, it has never happened that our Earth's atmosphere or magnetic field has saved us from the destruction caused by solar radiation. But the electromagnetic power of these flares is so high that it can destroy power grids, internet connections, and other communication devices. This can cause chaos everywhere and even lead to people's deaths because of these reasons. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, space weather experts, and other space agencies see this as a serious threat. That's why the sun and its activities are monitored very closely. So, what exactly are solar flares? Solar flares occur when the sun's magnetic field lines collide or get twisted with each other. This creates an enormous storm about the size of a planet, which is released from the sun's surface in the form of electromagnetic energy. We can see these storms as cool and dark patches on the sun. They're also called sunspots. Around these sunspots, there is a large spread of magnetic field lines where they are tangled with each other. Most of the energy from a solar flare is released in the form of ultraviolet and X-ray light. Because of this, the gases present in the sun's atmosphere also get heated up to very high temperatures, and for this reason, a large amount of charged particles are released from the sun's atmosphere into space, which we call coronal mass ejection or CMEs. If a sunspot blasts a coronal mass ejection toward our Earth, that massive storm can reach our planet in 15 hours or a few days at a speed of thousands of miles per second. Now, whether you have heard about CMEs before or not, it doesn't matter, because the sun emits these CMEs somewhere every week or even every day, meaning it's a normal process for the sun. However, during the 11-year activity cycle, the number of CMEs also increases along with the sun's activity. According to National Aeronautics and Space Administration, most of the CMEs go unnoticed by people. They just pass by this planet because the Earth's magnetic field protects us. What happens is that the electromagnetic energy coming from the sun fills our magnetosphere, and the atoms and molecules present in our Earth's atmosphere become electrically charged, which causes something that can be seen all over the world. Because of such storms, the auroras borealis that we usually see near the Earth's North Pole will also become visible at the equator due to a very large storm. If such a massive solar storm hits our Earth, the entire world's radio and radar systems will experience a complete blackout. Electrical grids will become overloaded due to power surges, which could also cause blackouts in the power grids. Even if that doesn't happen, long power cuts will become a common thing. Some experts are even afraid that a major coronal mass ejection storm could cause an internet collapse on Earth. Our undersea internet cables could also get overloaded, and if that happens, our world would come to a complete halt without the internet. Although this has never happened before, the possibility cannot be ruled out. And if that happens, the internet could disappear from the whole world for weeks or even months. Our space station and satellites will also not be able to withstand the impact of CME's radiation, because they don't get the protection of Earth's atmosphere and are completely exposed to the harsh environment of space. The most powerful geomagnetic storm ever recorded in Earth's history was documented in 1869, known as the Carrington Event. However, this powerful geomagnetic storm had no major impact on life or human health on Earth. Even if there was a bigger one in Earth's history, we have not found any evidence so far that it had any impact on human life. That means one thing is clear: no matter how strong a solar storm is, life on Earth will continue as it is. We don't know how big a solar flare would have to be to wipe out life on Earth, but it has never happened in history. Or it could also be that no solar flare can ever wipe out life on Earth. But there's another enemy that could wipe out life on Earth in the blink of an eye. And this has actually happened once in history, and that danger is the stars around us. When a star uses up all its fuel and reaches the end of its life, it becomes a massive supernova and explodes. This releases a huge, powerful radiation that spreads across millions of light years in space. These blasts are much more powerful than any solar flare. The ultraviolet radiation released from these will destroy the ozone layer of our Earth, and as soon as this protective ozone layer is gone, the Earth will be exposed to charged particles. 358 million years ago, a star about 64 light years away from Earth died. That star exploded in a supernova, which caused a mass extinction here on Earth, wiping out about 70% of the species living on the planet. However, scientists are not certain about how exactly this mass extinction was triggered. What were the factors that triggered this mass extinction? However, studies of the skeletons from the time of that mass extinction have revealed that their fossils were damaged due to ultraviolet radiation, which could only be caused by an exploding star or a supernova. But fortunately, there is no such supernova candidate present near our Earth, which could become a threat to us in the near future. Only our small star, the Sun, is there, which cannot become a supernova for now. And as for the solar storms coming from it, our Earth's atmosphere is enough to handle them. Imagine a celestial body that is very large, very powerful, even from 93 million miles away. It is controlling life on a planet in every way. And now imagine that the body responsible for life on a planet is also hiding very deeply, secrets that even scientists can't fully explain. Yes, we are talking about our Sun. We think we know the Sun, but do we really know it? What if I told you that there are forces brewing inside the Sun that could wipe out all of human civilization in the blink of an eye? That familiar warmth we feel every day, we haven't even realized or understood the destruction it could cause. From the strange sunspots visible on its surface to the dangerous solar storms. The Sun is not just a life-giving deity as we think, it's also a ticking time bomb that could explode with unimaginable force at any moment. So in this video today, we will explore the dark side of our Sun, which is unpredictable, violent, and extremely mysterious. After this, your perspective on the Sun will change. From ancient civilizations that considered the Sun a deity to today's modern science, which now sees it as the engine of life. Although we know that the Sun is a huge ball of gas and plasma, but if we look at it on a broad scale, life truly isn't possible without the Sun. And humanity has known from the very beginning that the Sun is essential for us, but at the same time, that very Sun is also one of the most dangerous forces in our solar system. Apart from its warmth and familiar light, it's an uncontrollable cosmic nuclear furnace that is constantly leading us toward a major event. We take the Sun for granted, which, in this endless universe, is lighting up planets like a huge lamp. It keeps them warm and also sustains life on those planets. If we go deep into the sun, the gravity there is so strong that even hydrogen atoms collide and fuse together. Through this process of nuclear fusion, the entire sun is able to release an immense amount of heat. And in this way, the temperature of the sun's surface reaches up to 5,500 degrees Celsius. But the real terror is hidden in its core, where the temperature reaches up to 15,000 degrees Celsius. 15,000 degrees Celsius. This is beyond our imagination. This immense energy of the sun not only gives us light but also creates storms on the sun. There is also a massive ejection of magnetic fields and charged particles there. Even though solar flares and solar mass ejections may not seem very dangerous to us, they have enough power to destroy our modern technology in an instant. A single solar storm can push us into a global blackout. To be honest, we are literally living at the mercy of a star which can change its course at any moment. And the scariest thing is that it neither knows us nor is it compassionate. So let's take a look at a dangerous example of the sun's power, a solar storm. In 1869, a massive solar storm was released from the sun, which we now know as the Carrington event. This solar storm was so intense that the telegraph system of that time was completely shut down. Equipment caught fire, and operators working on those systems and equipment received strong electric shocks. If such a storm hits the earth today, destruction is certain. Our modern world is highly dependent on technology. The result will be that the internet, global positioning system, power grids, and satellites will be fried in just a few moments. These are the main resources where its impact will be most visible. Apart from this, people traveling by sea and air will get stranded in the middle of their journey. There are also some devices in our body that can conduct electricity. In this situation, the risk to people and property will rise significantly. A solar storm is when Surya's atmosphere releases a large amount of magnetic energy. These solar storms can release highly charged particles into space in any direction. And when they come toward the Earth, they move at a speed of millions of miles per hour toward the Earth. When this storm hits the Earth, it interacts with its magnetic field, which is why we see beautiful auroras in the sky. But behind this beauty are these terrifying solar storms which can destroy everything in an instant. The scariest thing about them is that we can't see them coming. Solar storms erupt without any warning. One moment the sun is completely calm, and the next moment it can release this invisible, dangerous radiation toward us. The Carrington event was a warning for us, but we've come a long way by learning from it. For decades, space agencies and scientists have been constantly monitoring the sun for such solar storms so that we can protect ourselves in time. The question isn't whether the next solar storm will hit us, but rather, when will it happen? This uncertainty always keeps us afraid. The sun has another dark side, sunspots. When we look up at the sky and see the sun, we see its dazzling, blinding brightness. But it doesn't always shine like this. Sometimes dark spots also appear on its surface, which are called sunspots. These are cooler regions on the surface of the sun, where the sun's magnetic fields are twisted and tangled together. We have been observing sunspots for centuries, but the reason for their formation has always remained a mystery. But what we do know is that wherever sunspots appear, destruction follows. Sunspots are linked to the activity of our sun, and sunspots are also the root cause of many intense solar storms. These dark spots show frightening processes inside the sun that we still don't understand. And why these sunspots trigger solar flares and coronal mass ejections, this question also forces scientists to think. Whatever we know about them is that sunspot activity increases and decreases in cycles. When the sun is most active, more sunspots are seen, and the more sunspots there are, the higher the chances of solar flares. That's why during the sun's 11-year activity cycle, we see more solar flares and more solar activity. Next time you see a picture of a sunspot, remember that these are not just spots on a shining star. This is the dark side of the sun, which is the most dangerous. And we must also remember that we live peacefully under the shelter of a star that is not peaceful at all. But sunspots are not the only danger coming from the sun. The sun has another dark side, solar flares. Solar flares are the sun's own way of releasing suppressed energy. And when these flares erupt, the energy released from them is even greater than the energy of millions of atomic bombs. These flares release radiation and charged particles in every direction from the sun. And sometimes they come directly toward our Earth. When a powerful solar flare hits our Earth, the effects it causes can bring our entire world to a halt. A global blackout, disappearance of global positioning system signals, malfunctioning satellites, power grids failing, the internet, economy, and ecosystem, everything could come to a standstill just from a single flare hitting us. The banking system, aviation, industry, and all other sectors that rely on the internet will suddenly come to a halt. It reminds us that the same sun that keeps our Earth moving can also force our world, our Earth, to come to a standstill. But our understanding of the sun is increasing even more. But there is still so much about the sun that we haven't been able to learn. For example, the sun's corona. The biggest mystery about its outermost layer, the corona, is that its temperature is much higher than the surface of the sun. How is this possible? The surface of the sun is as hot as 5,500 degrees Celsius. How can the temperature of the corona, which is hundreds of kilometers away from it, be millions of degrees Celsius? Another mystery is what force is driving the solar cycles. Every 11 years, the sun's magnetic poles flip, which increases solar activity. But scientists have not been able to find out the driving force behind this. It gives us a glimpse of the fairy. And this tells us how much we have understood this infinite universe where exactly we stand. The sun is our closest star, but this universe is infinite. And such mysteries make this universe the supreme leader. Because in this universe, everything follows the rules set by the universe itself. And maybe it's better if some mysteries remain hidden forever. If someone named Sabita learns all the secrets of the universe, she will become the supreme leader and will want to run the universe according to her own rules. And maybe none of us would want that. Friends, what do you think about the sun's mysteries? Share in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to like it and share it with your friends.